Hey Moral Gamers, welcome back. We're taking a look at Street Fighter Cross Tekken. This one's coming at you for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. How's this one going to stack up? Let's find out. Now, first things first, if you were a child in the 90s, you gotta have knowledge of Street Fighter. Street Fighter was everywhere. You had Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Wait a minute. Aren't those all the same game? Any rate, this was before downloadable content. They just couldn't count to 3. They even went Street Fighter Alpha, which... Wait, Alpha? Where's that come into play? Any rate. Actually, it's Street Fighter 0 in Japan, so make it even more... Yeah, just more confusing for people, you know? Whatever. Whatever, Capcom. But then Tekken came across with a solid Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3. And these were solid games. They actually competed very well against Virtua Fighter, which is a personal favorite of mine. So now Street Fighter and Tekken are coming together in one game. How's this going to work? Well, the characters are 2-on-2 matches, and you can swap out characters, tag however you want. It's more of a Tekken system where if one character is down, the round is over. One character down, round over. I don't like it as much. I like the Marvel vs. Capcom, which was basically 2 characters. One goes in. If that one's knocked out, then the other one jumps in. And you could tag out at any time in the Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay, something that they could have improved on. Another thing that notably I am really disappointed with them about is when you download the patch for unlocking the 12 hidden characters, because there are 12 characters in the game that basically aren't accessible unless you pay an extra $20. So what happens there? The patch is about 60 to 100 kilobits, which means that the characters are already on the disc. Wait a minute. You're making me pay $20 more for characters that are already on the disc? That's not fair. That's not even right. Whatever, Capcom. Whatever. Don't be that way. Moving forward, though, other characters that are on the disc, but you have to download a patch for, and then after you download the patch, Anyway, Mega Man, which he's the fat, chunky Mega Man that looks very awkward and is from the box art of the original NES Mega Man. Ugh. He's kind of hard to play as. And then, of course, there's Pac-Man, who is just, well, Pac-Man. Ugh, weird. But if you're playing on the PlayStation 3, Cole McGrath, the lightning hero from Empire City, he's a pretty good character. I mean, once you get some chain combos together, he's good. He plays more on the Tekken side. And that's actually, from a gamer standpoint, where I want to take this now. Because the Street Fighter side has a lot of fireballs and a lot of mid-range attacks. The Tekken side is your close-range guys. So those are the ones that, when you jump in, it's going to be pop, 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 you know, and you're really going to do some high damage there, which is actually a good way to do it. But then the Street Fighter guys are going to be more of your arcade punk stuff, where you'd be sitting there, Hadouken, Shoryuken, you know, like some people do as a way of just abating characters, just keeping them in the back. What's nice, though, is like I said, Tekken can do some pretty good dash attacks and stuff to close the gap so they can get in and rock them up. It's just a matter of knowing your characters. And if you do a balanced team, someone from Capcom, someone from Tekken, great, that's awesome. So, is this a good game for you? Well, it's pretty fun, actually, and even against people who haven't played, I find that this one actually levels out the playing field a little more. I mean, I played Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 4 was high learning curve, get your butt kicked all the time if you're not hardcore online. In this one, I've fared a lot better, actually. It feels a lot more, like I said, level playing field. Because of 2 systems combined, it makes it a little bit easier for people to get into, which is great. But then again, from a moral standpoint, what's going on here? Morally speaking, you have, well, martial arts combat. Very easy one to pick on because, hey, it's a fighting game. And if you have issues with that, yeah, you may not want your kids to play it. In addition to that, you have usage of demonology. Akuma, although it's not necessarily stated in the game, he uses the power of the Raging Demon, and that's actually how he gets to be such a great fighter, yada yada, whatever. Something just to keep in mind, and of course, there's always character dress. Oh, by the way, Kazuya also has demon issues too. Character dress. And you have characters like Cammy, who's practically wearing a thong. Yeah, and cheeks hanging out, whatnot. You may not want that. Another thing you have is Poison, who's got some undercleavage going there. And if you have issues with that kind of stuff, you know, you may not want your kids playing it. But overall, though, from a gamer standpoint, it's a fun game. Moral standpoint, you know, take your pick. Some of the stuff may not mesh well with your convictions.
pathetic.